That 70s Show was an iconic piece of work that highlighted the journey of 6 teenagers and their rebellious rendezvous. This show lasted 8 seasons and is a household name for Gen X, Millennials, and Gen Zers. This show was ahead of its time with it having the first gay kiss on television and it tackling other taboo topics of the time. But there is one plot line that did not continue, and I, for the life of me, cannot figure out why not. It's the Hoodie Ninja. Grab some tea and enjoy what you see. Today we're talking about what could have been one of the best plot lines on TV. Okay, that's an exaggeration, but it rhymed, so the plot line that I'm talking about is based off of one singular episode, season 4, episode 4. This episode opens up with the gang sitting around and watching TV, gang including Eric, Fez, and Hyde. Eric says how sad he is about being single, and Hyde encourages him and welcomes him to the singles club. Afterwards, Eric is co-signed by Fez in sadness about their singleness. Eric and Fez then decide to have a singles party to get Hyde to meet a girl and fall in love so that he understands how it feels. The whole gang then discusses the party. Each person will bring 2 to 5 girls and Hyde will pick one. Then Fez says something weird because of course he does. And they agree to have the party at Eric's because honestly, where else would they have it? The episode then switches to a B plot of keeping your hand on a car so that whoever keeps their hand on the longest wins the car, but that's completely irrelevant to the video and we will not be going over that at all. We switch back over to the party and Jackie brings Rhonda, which is quickly dismissed. Kitty then announces Steven's presence to the girls at the party, which he is surprised that the party is even happening because he came over to watch SNL with the bros. Fez basically kind of tells him what the party is, and then we switch to Donna and Melissa. Oh, Melissa. Now this is where we get into it. When teenage Kate saw Melissa grace the television screen, I was completely enamored. My heart fluttered just seeing a black girl on this television show. Cause like any other teen, we all imagine ourselves into our favorite shows or compared our friend groups to the friend groups that we love so much. I hope anyway. So seeing Melissa on this TV show made my life. I was so excited to see where this would go, but back to the show. It is stated that Melissa is a fellow intern with Donna at the radio station. Donna asks her what she's doing that night, and given that they're in Wisconsin, nothing. She invites Melissa to a party at Eric's and she says yes, and they head off. Back at the party, a girl tries to hit on Eric, to which he completely does not care due to his supreme depression about his breakup with Donna. This causes the girl to want him more, which I personally don't understand, but that's all Eric needed. We then switch over to Rhonda and Fez talking about, you know. Kitty then comes down asking how it's going, and Jackie talks about her hair, and Kitty leaves because what? This is then followed by clips of the women at the party giving inserts about themselves to Hyde or flirting with Hyde. And these are honestly hilarious because it's clear that his friends have terrible taste.
I'm so glad I finally got to meet you because I've always been afraid of you and I like to be scared.
Afterwards, Hyde then makes a plan to just nail every girl in the same night. But Fez proclaims that this is not what the night is for and he can only pick one girl. Steven then tells Fez that he doesn't want his help. Fez then dismisses him and tells him to leave because he did all this work and you basically don't care. While leaving the party, Hyde walks into Donna and Melissa. Donna tells him that Melissa just moved here from Chicago and works at the radio station with her. Hyde instantly becomes a simp. Like when I tell you simp, like he then comes up with an excuse to why he isn't at the party and he's outside, which is air. She replies back with the same type of rhetoric and they walk into the party and Hyde quickly follows after. When we go back to the party, we see the growing stories of Fez and Rhonda and Katie and Eric. Eric then attempts to make Donna jealous by getting a hug from Katie. Jackie then goes on about how she's the prettiest girl at the party.
I'm gonna be the prettiest girl at the party.
Hyde then tells Melissa that he's going to get a beer, and she responds with, yeah, you should get one for yourself too. This rhetoric completely catches him off guard and causes him to ask her, well, do you want a beer? And she says yes, and he proceeds to go get her one because... I want to get into my commentary so bad, but I just gotta finish the episode. But we're almost done. Fez then makes a toast and pronounces Mississippi as Miss Syphilis, and it was just so funny to me. Red then takes Fez aside so that he can sober him up, and Fez continuously just makes inappropriate comments about him and Rhonda, and Red just says, you're being a little too open right now, pretty much. Then we switch back to Eric, who is surrounded by women consoling him because of his breakup, and then Donna walks over and says, well, guys, he broke up with me. And most of them leave, but Katie stays, and then Eric tells Katie that, well, the only reason that he broke up with Donna is because she wouldn't accept his ring. Hyde and Melissa are hanging out, and Hyde asks Melissa, are you having fun? And she says, all right, time to go, like something along those lines. And she gets up and Hyde chases after her. He then asks her, do you want to do something sometime? And she basically responds by saying, well, I'm busy sometime and I'm busy doing something. So he then specifies the day he wants to take her out, Friday, and lists a whole lot of things to do until she says yes. She said that she'd love to and told him to call. He responds by saying,
call you.
That's pretty unorthodox, but then says he's gonna call her because duh. Donna calls him whipped, and the end credits roll. So Caitlin, what's the best plotline ever? The romantic journey of Hyde and Melissa. Were you not here? Melissa is the only woman that Hyde has just been swooned with like this off of first glance. He literally lost his words while trying to talk to her. And he asked her out on a proper date, which is something he doesn't do often. She matched his attitude and rhetoric in a perfect way to where it had him even questioning his own words. It is a clear match made, and it was obvious that it was written that way as well. This romantic relationship could have caused so many new plot lines in that 70s show, or added to the ones that were already there. Melissa and Hyde could have had a relationship that caused Hyde to grow in many new ways. They could have gone to a protest together, given the age that they're in, the decade that they're in, Hyde's anarchist ways, and Melissa being from Chicago. Fez would more than likely be down anyway, given all the stuff he talks about his home country, and it will be an episode where the rest of the gang could really learn a lot about other people's problems and cultures. There also could have been an episode, for example, where Melissa and Hyde were broken up, and Kelso, you know, he tried to slide and get down, and he tries over and over, and then after a while Melissa gives in and is like, fine, like let's go on a date. They go on a date, it goes terrible, and then they realize that they're made for Jackie and Hyde. There could have been a point where there was tension between Jackie and Melissa, given that Melissa is the new girl getting more attention and she has her own sense of style given that she's from a new place. This could have ended with them bonding and sharing style tips and having their own kind of unique character relationship. There could have been more concert style episodes given that Melissa works at a radio station as well, or maybe more things on the entertainment side that we just didn't get to see. Overall, with her character being from a new city, she would have added a completely new attitude and flair that still complemented all the other characters. A Redditor posted about this situation 2 years ago, stating that Reagan Gomez, the actor, said that the show's producer and director didn't like her acting because it was too black, or it needed to be less sassy, or not to be so cute. She was then sent to an acting coach who was also a white man for a week, and that made her character completely emotionless and honestly verbatim for what she says, with no black shit. It was even said that during the reading, David Traynor, the director, kept telling her to be less sassy, even though she did the exact same thing that she did in her audition at the table read. The performance that made it on air was the toned down version, and because of these difficulties, she was never brought back. I'm gonna insert some of her tweets so that you guys can pause and read them yourself. This take is honestly crazy to me given the fact that her character is supposed to be from Chicago, an area with a majority black demographic, versus Wisconsin, which has a very small black demographic. It would make sense for her to talk and act with more eccentricism than the rest of the cast. Imagine being a black girl from Chicago and moving to Point Place, Wisconsin, and a white boy tries to hit on you and can barely even talk to you, but then all of a sudden he's talking about he's too cool to call you. It would make perfect sense for her to throw jabs and slick remarks because it's funny. Keep in mind, the way she delivered her lines were not sassy, and honestly, while watching the show, I kind of thought quite the opposite of the character. Speaking of lines, if they wanted her to be less sassy, then they shouldn't have gave her such quick and witty comebacks in the script. While researching the show and the director, I had some peers who are interested in film and are familiar with the work of the director say that he does not have the best reputation when working with black women, especially given his other show, Boy Meets World, and how the actress Tina McGee was treated while on set. It's very sad and honestly quite annoying that something that was such an amazing plot line was shut down due to gaslighting and, let's be honest, race. Melissa being one of the only black characters on the show would have added so much dimension to this show's universe. Her and Fez would have agreed on some arguments that during the show he had no one to take his side. She could have added a lot to Hyde learning about his black side, given that Hyde's character is mixed. She could have been a gateway to him learning about his culture and that side of his family. If Melissa was added to the cast, that 70s show would have been a show that almost every single demographic could have related to. Let me know what you think about the situation in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe.